Well, hi folks, it's time to plant the old leeks out. So as you can see, I've been growing them in this polystyrene box for about probably 2 or 3 months now in the greenhouse. Starting to struggle in the greenhouse in the polytunnel because it's getting a bit warm, and they're plenty big enough to go in. So what I need to do with these is, with the aid of my dibber, is make some holes about 7 inches deep, and then once I've separated all these, we're just going to plop one in each hole, water them in, and the job's a good one. So what I need to do first is just separate these into single plants. I'll just tear this open. I've got plenty of these polystyrene boxes. These should come apart quite easily into separate plants. Try, there we go. So let's have a look. As you can see, they've got plenty of good roots on them. Quite hardy, it's just a matter of teasing them out into separate plants, like so. And then what we'll do is we'll plant each one separately in its own little hole, and I'll show you how we do that. So we'll just get all these separated out. Right, so that's those separated out into single plants now. So what I'll do, I'll just spread this compost on over the bed, and then we'll get on and make the old dib the holes and plonk them in. Right then folks, we're going to get these holes dibbed out now with the dibber. So I'm going to try and get these about a foot apart in the row. So I'm just going to push the dibber in. The soil's quite hard because it's not rained for ages, just to make a little dibber hole like so. I'm using these guides on my matting, they're about a foot apart, so I'll try and get 5 across. That's a bit softer, so I'll try and get 5 across. That's roughly a foot apart. I'm going to do about 10 rows, so therefore we have 50 leeks to go in, which is more than enough. That's an hard bit there, so we'll get on and get these dibbed out, and then try and get them in a straight line. Some soft parts and hard parts. First few straight, I can just follow on. Right then folks, that's my 50 holes dibbed out now, so now it's just a matter of plonking a single one of these plants into each hole. Now there's different ways of thinking. Some people cut half the leaves off and half the roots off, but to be honest, I don't. I've tried both ways, and I just plonk the whole plant, roots and all, in the hole. Couldn't be easier. Drop it to the bottom of the hole like so, get the roots right down to the bottom. But the next stage is the most important bit, is the watering. So because what you do next time is water just enough so you fill the hole up, and that'll wash soil around the roots at the bottom of the hole and keep them well rooted until they start to grow. So it is important to get the leek right down to the bottom, and the roots right down to the bottom as well. So again, it's just a matter of doing every single one. Pleasant, mundane task, just dropping them in, knowing that in 3 months' time you'll have a cracking set of leeks without too much of any problems. Now some of them do look a bit limp when they're in, but they will perk up once they start growing properly. And the reason why we do it this way, by burying the stem, is because if you just plant on the flat like so, like that, And as the stem grows, it'll grow green, you see, and it'll be horrible and bitter. So this is what's just called blanching, really. It's keeping the sunlight off the plant, so it stops it photosynthesizing, and it just turns the leek white rather than green and bitter. So that's the reason we do it. I don't know what's going on behind me. We've got a herd of cows going mad. So yeah, so it's just a matter, like I said, sticking them in, and then I'll show you how we water them in. That's just a little tip as well. Try not to put 2 in 1 hole. Could do, obviously, it wouldn't make any difference. So again, I'll just finish these off, and then I'll show you the watering technique that I use, and then really that's all there is to it. Right then folks, the final job with this procedure is now just to dribble, fill the hole up right to the top with a watering can. But instead of using a rose on the watering can and just going willy-nilly, which will fill the hole up with soil probably right to the top, and that's what you want to avoid, because you don't want to get soil in between the veins of the leaves at this stage, because once they grow into a big stalk, a big stem, then the soil will get trapped in between them, and that's when you get gritty leeks. So all you want to do at this stage is just get a little bit of soil washed over the bottom of the roots at the bottom of the hole. So like I said, I've got a watering can with a bit of hose pipe stuck out the end, so I can manage it quite nicely. Just put my finger over the end and then like that, stop it, fill it to the top, and that'll just fill, put enough soil over the roots, wash enough soil off the sides just to cover the roots up without getting any soil and grit between the veins of the leaves. So you don't want to be filling the holes in. What will happen over the year is the holes will slowly fill in, and as the leek grows, if the holes don't fill in, it'll just fill the hole up with its, you know, with the girth of the leek itself. So like I said, this is the most important thing to do at this stage. Carefully just fill each hole to the top, so just enough soil to get washed off the edge. I don't know what's happened to that, that's just disappeared. That's when it pulled the plug. And sometimes they do tend to float out like that, so just push them down to the bottom. But again, just enough to fill them up to the top, and that'll do. So that's about it. I'll just give you a look from the top in a second, show you what it looks like. But apart from that, that's just the way I plant my leeks. Right then, there we have it folks, that's 50 leeks planted now. If I just show you what they look like at the top. You can't see any roots showing because there's just a little bit of water being splashed down in, which covers the roots with the soil. They always look a bit silly at this stage until they actually start to grow away, and once they get rooted in, they'll grow away nicely. So that's about it folks, that's how I plant my leeks. That's 50 planted. That's all I need to do this year, leek wise. That's about it folks. See you later.